They told you that being the nice guy was the key to unlocking a woman's heart and body. They lied. And not only did they lie, they castrated you. They sold you obedience as virtue, predictability as true love, submission as a ticket to desire. What an insult to human nature. Desire is not negotiated with wilted flowers and trembling smiles. It awakens in mystery, it ignites in tension, it thrives in uncertainty. The nice guy believes patience buys passion, but passion is never for sale. It lives out there wild, hunting for fire, not for a flickering candle. If this opening unsettles you, perhaps you should leave now. But if you have the courage to hear truths no one dares to speak, stay. And comment right now which city you're watching this from. I want to see how far this heresy travels. We live in an age where men believe female desire responds to logic, to sweet words, to chains of favors. Are you kind? You'll get friendship. Are you predictable? You'll get routine. But desire lives deeper, where good intentions suffocate and die. Desire doesn't reason, it doesn't keep score. It is primal, emotional, savage. And here's the irony. While you chase her, she runs toward another man who doesn't even look back. The tragedy of the nice guy isn't that he's good, it's that he kneels waiting for an altar that never existed. If this truth stings, hit the like button, because pain is the first step toward lucidity. You want to know why mystery ignites desire. Because what is known too well becomes dull. The predictable man is like a song played too many times. Background noise, safe, forgettable. But the man who carries silence, who doesn't reveal every thought, every intention, every weakness, he awakens curiosity, and curiosity is the seed of passion. Women don't fall for men they can fully predict. They fall for men who make them feel alive, uncertain, slightly off balance. If you are an open book, don't be surprised when no one bothers to turn the pages. Desire is born in tension, not in comfort. And if you don't understand that, you will forever mistake politeness for power. Authority in desire is never loud, never needy, never begging. It is the silent command of a man who doesn't ask for permission to exist, a man who walks into a room and alters its atmosphere without a single word. You think attraction is about saying the right thing, doing the right favor, being endlessly available. That is the mentality of slaves, not lovers. True magnetic force is rooted in independence, in the unshakable presence of a man who does not orbit around her approval. If you are desperate to be wanted, you are already lost. Stop chasing, stop explaining, stop proving. The moment you become the center of your own world, gravity shifts and desire follows. Challenge is the lifeblood of attraction. What is easily held is easily discarded. A man who gives himself away without question, without boundary, without price, teaches her one thing. He is common, replaceable, a trinket to be picked up and thrown aside. But the man who knows his worth, who dares to say no, who withholds as much as he gives, becomes a storm in her mind. Scarcity is not a trick, it is the truth of value. What is rare is revered. What is too available is invisible. If you have spent your life begging for love, understand this. The altar of desire only accepts sacrifices of strength, not offerings of weakness. There is a dark art to desire, the projection of fantasy. A man who understands tension knows that words are cheap, but presence is intoxicating. He doesn't spell out his every thought. He doesn't narrate his intentions. Instead, he allows her imagination to burn, to fill in the spaces he deliberately leaves empty. A look held a second too long, a silence heavy with possibility, a touch withheld until it becomes unbearable. That is power. Desire is not logic. Desire is theater. And the man who plays every scene too fast, who gives the ending, away before the first act, kills the story before it ever begins. The greatest tragedy of men today is their addiction to validation. They live like dogs waiting for scraps of approval, mistaking attention for affection and compliance for intimacy. But desire cannot be begged for, it must be awakened. The man who clings, who seeks to be understood, who explains himself endlessly, becomes a burden, not a mystery. Women do not crave a man who is desperate to be loved. They crave a man who could walk away at any moment yet chooses to stay, not because he needs her, but because his presence is his gift. Understand this, you do not win desire by becoming her servant. You win it by standing as a sovereign, untouchable and free, a man whose self-respect is beyond negotiation. And here lies the paradox. The world tells you to be safe, predictable, endlessly agreeable. Society rewards you for being a domesticated male, a polite shadow of what you once were. But deep inside every woman, every human soul burns a longing for something dangerous, alive, real. A man who dares to challenge, who does not bend to every demand, who knows that love without tension is not love, but habit. Yet most men fear this truth. They trade their fire for comfort, their sharp edges for soft smiles, their masculine essence for approval. They are liked by all and desired by none. If you feel this sting in your chest, do not look away. Sit with it. Let it burn. And if you dare to face it, comment below. Are you the man they like or the man they crave? Presence. This is the untold law of desire. A man with presence does not chase, does not shout, does not clamor for attention. His very existence is weight, gravity, command. He does not need to convince anyone of his worth, for it bleeds through every movement, every pause, every look. Women do not long for words. They long for the man who makes the world slow down when he enters the room. Yet most men are invisible. Ghosts, trapped in their own insecurities, begging for acknowledgement. Hear me well. Presence is born from mastery of self. If you cannot command your own mind, your own emotions, you will never command the storm in another's heart. But modern men have been tamed. They think desire is democratic, that love can be earned like a wage, collected like charity. They line up, obedient and hopeful, thinking their turn will come if they are good enough, quiet enough, compliant enough. And all the while, desire slips past them, drawn to the man who dares to break the rules of this pathetic game. The truth is brutal. Attraction is not fair, nor should it be. It bows only to strength, to risk, to an energy that cannot be bought or begged for. If you want to change your fate, you must first kill the nice guy within you, not to become cruel, but to become alive. Do you know why you lose yourself in relationships? Because you never had yourself to begin with. You built your entire being around her approval, her smiles, her fleeting affection. You offered your soul like a product on a shelf, praying someone would finally take it home. That is not love. It is slavery dressed as romance. A man without his own axis is tossed around by every emotion, every whim, every promise of connection. But a man rooted in his own power, unshaken by the storms of neediness, becomes ungovernable. Desire flows to him, not because he begs for it, but because his very presence says, "I am whole, with or without you." This is not arrogance, it is freedom. Yet freedom terrifies the modern man. He clings to comfort, to being liked, to avoiding rejection as if it were death itself. And in doing so, he commits a greater suicide, the death of his own fire. The women he longs for can smell it, the stench of a man who has betrayed himself for a drop of validation. They do not desire him, they pity him. And pity is poison to passion. Understand this. Love without risk is not love. Desire without tension is not desire. If you want to be truly wanted, you must first become a man capable of walking alone, of facing silence, of being enough for yourself. Only then does your presence become a force that bends the world around you. Look around you. The modern man has been declawed, turned into a house pet in exchange for the illusion of affection. He bends, nods, agrees, sacrifices his edge, his hunger, his wildness, thinking this will buy him desire. But desire cannot be bought. It bows to no one. It is a force that rises only for those who dare to command it, not by words, not by servitude, but by their raw, unapologetic essence. The so-called nice guy has been trained to think that goodness is enough, that kindness is currency, that patience is power. But all he has bought is invisibility. Women do not ache for men who worship them. They ache for men who challenge them, who make their hearts race, who bring chaos and order in the same breath. Yet you, modern man, have been taught to kill that spark, to amputate your own danger, to trade your fire for safety. And in doing so, you have made yourself undesired. Stop blaming women for this truth. Stop blaming games or manipulation. The fault is in your own cowardice, your own betrayal of your primal force. You chose comfort over conquest, predictability over passion, obedience over power. And now you sit wondering why desire has left you in the cold. Desire is not rational, and that terrifies you because you think life is a contract. If I am good, I will be loved. If I give enough, she will give back. But desire is not a transaction. It is war, it is fire, it is nature itself. It cannot be domesticated by your politeness or caged by your endless favors. Attraction is not a charity event. It is a storm that strikes only where it feels true power. The women you want do not dream of men who beg to be chosen. They dream of men who choose themselves first. Men who could walk away at any moment because they do not fear solitude. But you have built your entire existence around not being alone. You have made loneliness your greatest enemy, and thus you made yourself weak, predictable, a slave to approval. A man who cannot stand alone cannot stand desired. He becomes an echo of what he thinks women want, a hollow imitation of masculinity, and women feel it. They may take your kindness, your attention, your time, but not your passion, because you killed it long before they arrived. If you cannot bear this truth, close this video. But if you can, let it burn inside you. And if it does, share it, comment, let me know you are one of the few men still capable of awakening. Scarcity. Every man misunderstands this word. They think scarcity means pretending to be busy, withholding affection like a cheap trick. But true scarcity is not a tactic. It is a natural consequence of a man who knows his value, who doesn't throw his time, his attention, his energy at every passing opportunity. A man who understands that not every woman deserves his presence, not every invitation deserves a yes, and that restraint, that unshakable discernment, makes him rare in a world drowning in desperate availability. Women do not chase men because they play games. They chase men who are sovereign, who don't beg to be seen, who stand firm in their own light while others crawl in the dark for scraps of recognition. But here is the part you refuse to accept. Desire cannot be manufactured, yet it can be destroyed. Every time you betray yourself to please, every time you suppress your truth to avoid conflict, every time you place a woman above your own soul, you kill the flame she might have felt for you. And when that flame dies, you blame her, you blame fate, you blame the world, but never yourself. You think you lost her because you weren't good enough, kind enough, patient enough. No, you lost her because you were never fully alive in her presence. You were a mask, a careful performance, a hollow man offering empty safety. When what she craved was a man who made her heart race and her breath catch in her throat. Stop asking why she doesn't want you. Start asking why you gave her nothing to want. Modern love has become a marketplace of weak trades. Men sell their souls for temporary validation, offering endless kindness as if it were a bargaining chip. But attraction cannot be negotiated. It erupts like a storm, or it does not come at all. The man who thinks he can earn desire by behaving, by offering everything, without demand is not a man. He is a beggar draped in politeness. And beggars are never loved, they are tolerated. A woman may take your time, your words, your endless offerings of devotion, but she will not burn for you. Fire does not ignite on wet paper. You must be the spark, the danger, the living pulse of your own existence before you can awaken desire in anyone else. But the world despises this truth because it cannot control it. Society prefers you obedient, predictable, domesticated. A man who waits his turn, who asks for nothing, who smiles and accepts crumbs. The masses celebrate your compliance while secretly scorning your lack of power, and you believe them because you fear the cost of rebellion, to walk away, to set boundaries, to say no without apology. But know this, the man who refuses to be owned, who lives by his own axis, commands a respect that cannot be faked and a desire that cannot be denied. If these words sting, it means part of you is still alive, still, yearning to rise above mediocrity. Let it rise. And if you dare, let me know in the comments, are you still chained to the approval of others, or are you ready to break free? A woman's desire is not a puzzle to be solved, nor a prize to be won. It is a mirror. It reflects the weight of your existence. If you stand empty, needing her to fill the void you refuse to face, you will never inspire longing, only pity or convenience. But when you stand full, whole, untamed, when you walk with the quiet, arrogance of a man who knows he needs nothing to be complete, desire flows to you like a river seeking the ocean. Stop asking how to make her want you. Start asking how to become a man who cannot be ignored, a man who carries himself as if life itself bows in his presence. The tragedy of modern men is not that women don't desire them. It is that they have killed every reason to be desired. They surrendered their fire to comfort, their edge to approval, their strength to fear, and now they live half-lives hollow and polite, wondering why passion passes them by. If you feel this truth burning through your veins, don't look away. Confront it, because until you resurrect your primal force, until you reclaim the dangerous beauty of being fully alive, you will forever be a spectator in the game of desire. If these words strike you like thunder, let the world know you heard them. Share this message. Make it echo where silence once ruled. Because a man who wakes up from this lie becomes unstoppable. Understand this. True attraction is never begged for, never negotiated, never performed like a trick for applause. It is claimed through strength, through mystery, through the audacity of a man who refuses to bend his spine to be loved. The world has too many men asking for permission to exist, too many hollow smiles masking their hunger to be chosen. Be different, be dangerous, not cruel, not heartless, but untamed, unbroken, unwilling to sell your essence for fleeting affection. If you do this, desire will not just follow you, it will be unable to escape you. And when that moment comes, you will finally understand what it means to be truly alive. So I leave you with this. Stop living like a shadow in your own life. Stop asking, pleading, explaining why you deserve to be wanted. Burn away the nice guy that was taught to you, the obedient mask you wear to win a love that never comes. Become your own axis, your own fire, your own sun, and watch how the world, how women, how life itself cannot help but revolve around you. If you've made it this far, it means you have the courage most men lack. Prove it. Write in the comments the city you're watching from. Let the world see where the few awakened men still breathe. And if you crave more truths that the weak cannot bear, subscribe, because I will not stop burning illusions, and I do not care who gets scorched.